town hall setting po tayo, no? Pero sana po ay nakapag-inat-inat tayo, nakakuha ng kape, at nakapaglakad-lakad po sa corridor. So, again, magandang umaga po sa lahat, and let me continue with my presentation. At this point, we will be giving you a step-by-step guide on how to accomplish our OPCRF. No, following the RPMS cycle. So, iisa-isahin po natin itong phases of the RPMS from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. Okay. So, let's go to phase 1. Okay. So, for the phase 1, alam naman po natin ito. Ito yung usually natin ginagawa sa phase 1. First is we determine the KRA. No? We determine our KRA. We attribute, number 2, we attribute the KRA to the organizational outcomes. Dati po, in-attribute natin siya sa major final outputs or MFOs, no? Pero ngayon, dahil nagbabago po ang panahon, we already have the basic education development plan, pillars, the matatag, and of course, our usual general appropriations. No? And number 3, we set the objectives, we set the timelines and rate allocation, we identify the performance targets and performance measures, and lastly, ito po yung bago, we determine the means of verification. So, iisa-isahin po natin itong mga steps na ito. For purposes of presentation, balik po muna tayo. For purposes of presentation, I will be focusing on part 1A and part 1B of the OPCRF, no? Because, gaya po ng sabi ko kanina, yung part 1C is already prescribed in our interim guidelines because those organizational effectiveness measures are already mandatory for our PBB or for our oversight agencies. No? We have certain laws and regulations that mandate itong mga contents of our Part 1C, and so therefore we have already prescribed the objective statements and the performance indicators for each of the subcomponents of Part 1C. Okay, let's go into Part 1A. First is we will determine the KRA. No? Alam naman natin ito. In our usual OPCRF, we do have a column dedicated for the key result areas. So for both Part 1A and Part 1B, meron tayong KRA column. And ang ilalagay natin dito, basically, no, for our schools, we have a prescribed key result areas that are aligned with the SBM dimensions or domains, no? So masaya po ba tayong lahat dito? I know that for the longest time, wala pong malinaw, no? Or walang official document that will say kung ano talaga yung KRAs ng ating schools. So right now, we are providing guidance to our dear school heads kung ano ang gagamitin natin KRA for our school. So kung makikita nyo po sa ating SBM, we have domains, no? We have many domains of the SBM. 6, no, na domains of the SBM, and we will be using those domains as the school KRAs. So both Part 1A and Part 1B, both will be using those KRAs. However, no, hindi naman po ibig sabihin na meron tayong 6 KRAs in Part 1A ay 6 din po yung sa ating Part 1B. As mentioned earlier, kung ano lang po ang meron tayong mga innovations, interventions, no, or initiatives na ginawa, yun lang po yung lalagyan natin ng specific, no, na entry dito sa ating Part 1. Okay, let me show you in the next slide. Yan. In the next slide, these are the KRAs. No? As an example, we also have presented this slide to our regional directors, schools division superintendent, and school, yesterday. No? We have some made some sort of modification in the KRA of our regional director, the office of the regional director, and the office of the assistant regional director, as well as the office of the schools division superintendent and ASDS. No, ito na po yung kanilang KRA. Very slight difference lang po from their existing. But what is new is the orange column, the KRA for our school. So we have six, no? KRA 1, curriculum and teaching, KRA 2, learning environments, KRA 3, leadership, 4, governance and accountability, 5, human resource and team development, and 6, finance and resource management and mobilization. So in a nutshell, ito po dapat ang ginagawa ng ating newspapers. So all these subcomponents or all of these dimensions should be present in all our schools regardless of typology, regardless of size, regardless of whether nasa rural siya or urban. We should be able to capture all of these dimensions of the school-based management. No? And all of these things, ito din po yung sana nakaka-capture natin in our OPCRF. No? And we will be uploading in our RPMS library the a document, the official document showing these KRAs along with along with details, no, on the objectives portion and the specific roles and responsibilities under each of the KRA. Abangan nyo lang po yan doon sa ating RPMS library. And just a reminder also, when you when you access the RPMS library, please be reminded to use your DepEd email. No, so anyone who has the link, nandito naman po sa ating Q&A section yung link. Anyone who has the link may be able to access our RPMS library. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. In the next slide, gaya po ng lagi-lagi namin sinasabi, the intention of the interim guidelines is to clearly cascade our organizational outcomes into actionable delivery unit objectives or action steps. No, and what is very explicit in our form is that we have 3 columns, each for the organizational outcome or framework that we have. So the first column is dedicated for the GAA outcome attribution. So kada KRA po natin ay pwede natin i-attribute appropriately and accordingly into the GAA programs and sub-programs. We have 5, no? The education policy, basic education inputs, inclusive education, we have support to schools, and we also have the education human resource development. So those are the sub-programs na pwedeng nagko-contribute po tayo as a school or as a delivery unit. We also have the BEDP outcome attribution, specifically access, equity, quality, resiliency, and well-being. And of course, the enabling mechanisms, governance, and management. So, pwede po tayo mag-attribute dyan. Depende sa KRA natin or sa objective natin. Number 3, we have a column dedicated for the Matatag agenda. So we have 5, making curriculum relevant, taking steps to accelerate a delivery of basic education facilities and services. Number 3, taking good care of our learners. And number 4, giving support to our Hello? Hello? Audible na po ba ako? Okay. Sige, pasensya na po kayo. Nag-aagawan po kami ng internet dito sa opisina ngayon. Again, no, we have specific columns for each of these organizational outcomes. And depende po sa ating KRA or depende po sa ating objective, we should be able to attribute these, no, to the attainment of this organizational. In the next slide, okay, this is a sample attribution. Okay, so if you notice kanina, our regional director has a KRA on curriculum management. Our SDSS, no, has a KRA on curriculum implementation, and our schools under the SDM domains, no, we have a KRA of curriculum and teaching. No, all of these initiatives under these KRAs may be, no, may be contributing to the GAA programs, to the BEDP pillar, and to the Matatag, no, as the core service of the basic education sector. Dapat lang po, no, na nahihit natin itong mga organizational outcomes. So for the GAA, pwede pong multiple yung ating attribution. Pwede pong cross-cutting yung ating mga contribution. So for example, under curriculum and teaching, we may be able to respond to the basic education inputs program. We may be able to also respond to inclusive education program or support to school and learners program. And under BEDP, we may also be able to respond to our initiatives under access, equity, and quality. And of course, for the Matatag, no, we can make the taking steps in accelerated basic education delivery and taking good care of our learning. So all of these things may be, no, addressed by our efforts in doing our programs under curriculum and teaching KRA. In the next slide, please. In the next slide, I will be discussing the details, no, medyo mas nasalimot na tayo dito, the details on how we can craft our objectives, our timelines, weight allocation, no, and performance targets. So for the objective, as you know, it is based on the set KRAs and their attribution to the organizational outcomes. Gaya po ng lagi nating ginagawa, no, sa Debit Order number 2, it's still a discussion and an agreement between the rater and the ratee. Depende po sa agreement ng rater and ratee kung ano yung priority natin for this specific fiscal year. No? Ano ang tutok natin ng mga programas for this specific fiscal year. So, ganun po natin siya, ano yung priorities ng division office, for example. So, those can be part of our objectives. No? As a general rule, we can set at least 3 objectives per KRA. No? Pero pwede naman po tayong lumagpas doon, depende po sa priorities of our as identified by the rater and the rater for that specific school year. So may mga nagtatanong po sa amin, in the Debit Order number 2, we are limited up to 3 to 5 lang na KRA. Ngayon po ba pwede na kami sumobra sa 5? No? Bilang ang reference po natin for crafting our KRAs are for schools, for example, ito na pong piniprescribe natin na SBM aligned KRA, so pwede na po tayong lumagpas sa 5. So long as ito po gagamitin natin na document. Okay, let's go to the weight allocation and the timeline. Okay, so for the timeline, it is defined as the target date of accomplishing each of the performance objectives. And again, it is an agreement between the rater and the ratee kung kailan po natin ito target ma-complete or target ma-accomplish, no? And for us to be able to also align it with our work and financial plan, or in the case of our school, we have the annual improvement plan. Dapat po tugma no, yung ating mga targets or timelines na nakapaloob sa ating annual improvement plan or AIP at kung ano din po ang nakalagay sa ating OPCR. I'm sure marunong po tayo niyan, ano? Ang ating mga school heads ay alam na kung paano po ito ina-align na dalawang dokumento na ito. But we still advise that you coordinate with the Division Office Planning Office so that sure po tayo no na talagang tugma po yung mga aligned, and of course harmonize din po yung efforts ng buong division office. Next is the weight allocation. No? In the assignment of weight allocation, it shall be done by objective. No? Kada objective, meron pong karampatang weight allocation. At paano po natin ito dinidetermine? It shall depend on the nature and scope of work, the difficulty and complexity of accomplishing the specific task, program, or project, and required time to finish the specific task or to achieve the objective. No? And to provide you with an illustrative example, no? Dito po, paki-zoom in po sa ating illustrative example. You can assign, no? You have the flexibility to assign weight allocation for each objective so long as hindi po siya lalagpas doon sa weight allocation of the specific portion or specific part of the OPCRF. So for part 1A, since it comprises 60% of the total office performance rating, lahat po ng objectives natin under part 1A should total to 60%. Okay, next slide please. Okay, now let's go to performance targets. Now, in our existing OPCRF, very generic po no yung ating manner of setting the performance targets. But right now, we have added two elements no in our performance target so that we would it would be clearer no and more concrete po yung ating targeting, no? Performance targeting. So for the value performance target, we can set it either using a numerical value, a statistical value, or a trend. No? So for example, for kami po sa central office, for example, usually as policy developers, no, ang usual namin pong output, no, or performance target is the number of number of policies, no, na i-issue for a specific performance cycle. So we can use either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different orders issued within the performance period. In the case of school, pwede po tayo, for example, ilang programs yung under the math, no, under math, yung i-implement natin, no, within the fiscal year. Or ilang learners yung target natin, ilang specific learners yung target natin accommodate or to be involved in a specific school year. So, pwede po natin siyang ilagay dito. Or in terms of percentages, halimbawa po, retention rate or completion rate, pwede po natin siyang i-indicate as a form of a statistics. No? 90% or 83% of learners have completed, no, within by the end of the school year. No? So if we want to measure the completion rate, pwede po natin gamitin yung statistics. Or yung trend, no? Decrease, 2% decrease in dropout rate. No? Pwede po natin siyang gamitin as a performance target. Now, Again, the performance target is depende po sa agreement ng rater and ratee. So, hindi ko lang po, uh, uh, iba-iba po no, yung manner ng ating mga division offices in harmonizing the performance targets and in setting the performance targets of each of our schools no, within their jurisdiction. But in that manner, somehow the division office or the school's division superintendent as your either rater or approving authority will be able to set the appropriate performance targets in each of these objectives. Okay, next slide please. Here is a sample no, of how we do objectives, timelines, weight allocations, and performance targets. So for example po, at the regional level, kunwari lang po ito, ha? Okay, hindi po ito cast in stone. This is just for purposes of presentation. For example, at the regional level, kunwari po si Region 11, hello po sa mga taga-Region 11, under the KRA of the Regional Director, Strategic Leadership and Management, he or she has targeted no as an objective he or she wants to achieve no, the regional office wants to achieve the targeted completion rate for the school year. Yun po yung kanyang objective statement. At gusto niya po yun ma-achieve by June of 2025. And ang weight allocation po, kunwari lang din po, 4% of the total performance no, of the regional office. And the value, no, kunwari po, for elementary, the regional office targets 95% ang kanilang completion rate. And for secondary, 83%. Kunwari po, yung kanilang completion rate. And when the regional office cascades this down, these targets down to the division offices, for them to be able to achieve 95% of completion rate in the elementary, sabi po ni RD, kunwari ni RD, dapat lahat kayo 95% din yung ating target completion rate. Para at the regional level, 95% tayo. No? Pwede rin pong iba-iba. Depende sa baseline level ng kanilang completion rate. So, yun din po ang ita-target ng ating division. Yes. Ngayon, nag-performance planning din po at the division level. Sabi po ni SDS, okay, para ma-achieve natin yung sinabi po ng regional director na 95% completion rate in elementary and 83% completion rate in the secondary, we should be able to reach this target. And so therefore, we will be setting performance targets or completion rate targets no for each of our schools no. So kapag ganun po yung naging process or naging approach no ng ating division office, pwede po na ang ating mga schools or talagang dapat naman no na ating mga schools ay meron din accountability in terms of completion rate no or completion ng ating mga learners. So, si Davao City National High School, bilang siya po ay secondary, capture niya din kunwari yung 82% na completion rate. No? So, that will be his the school's official performance target for that specific school year. So, pwede pong ganyan yung sample natin. Now, the national level target of 83% na completion rate indicated in the GAA is now trickled down at malinaw na naibaba natin up to the school level. So yun po ang goal natin in this endeavor. Another example, kunwari po sa NCR, meron tayong target at sa GAA po no, on the proportion of learners achieving at least nearly proficient in the National Achievement Test. So we have that as a target. In the national level, we have 54% elementary, 39% junior high school, and 27% senior high school. So kunwari po, these figures are also adopted by the regional office in the division office, no? So pagdating po sa school, si Marikina City Elementary School, for example, ika-capture niya po yun sa kanyang OPCR. That 54% of their learners, no, are achieving at least nearly proficient in the national achievement rate ng elementary. Okay. Now, the big question is, ma'am, hindi naman po taon-taon may not, at hindi rin po taon-taon kasama po kami doon sa schools na na kung saan ina-administer po yung NAT, no, or napipili for the NAT. So ibig sabihin po, in those cases, yung specific school na yon need not capture, dahil wala po siyang basis for his or her performance, no, need not capture these specific organizational. So ganun po yun, no? Kapag ka po ang specific objective or specific org outcome is not applicable doon sa ating delivery unit, hindi po natin siya kailangan isama. What is important is we capture our office functions, our office KRAs as usual, at kung if under those office KRAs, we have identified specific organizational outcomes that are the organizational outcomes that we are contributing to, dapat po na ilalagay natin yun sa ating OPCR. At dapat po na-attribute natin yun. Okay po? Sana po malinaw. Okay. In the next slide, gusto naman po namin i-discuss paano yung objectives, no? Objectives, timeline, weight allocation, and performance targeting, no? Nung part 1B, innovating and intervening, no? So again, hindi naman po lahat ng KRA natin as indicated in the in Annex D of our interim guidelines, ay kailangan meron tayong innovating and intervening. Pero remember, this comprises 20% of your total performance rating. So we are encouraging po, no, for purposes and in the adherence to the principle of continuous improvement. Marami naman po tayong innovations, no, at the school level lalo, and it's just a matter of documenting and reporting these innovations and interventions dito sa ating OPCRF, no. So kung meron po tayo niyan, ilagay po natin dito sa ating OPCRF. Halimbawa po, we did something on developing a system to properly disburse funds. Yung ating MOE. Ito, kunwari po, integrated school, malaking school, mahirap na po natin siya, no, yung ating financial records. So, kunwari si principal, meron siyang innovation on how to gumawa siya ng tools, gumawa siya ng system on how to properly disburse funds. No, na wala halos walang human error, no, or kunwari po si school meron siyang sarili niyang paraan kung paano mas maging efficient yung enrollment process, no, or yung submission ng ating mga school reports, no, distribution of our materials, no. So if we have these on innovations, we should be able to capture them under part 1B, no. They are not necessarily, sabi nga po dito sa the definition, they are in a way supporting, enabling, or contributory to the achievement of the organizational commitments and KRAs indicated in part 1. Okay po. Next slide, please. Okay, so here is an example, no? Pero ito po ay sa central office, no? Sa central office, pero makaka-relate po kayo. As you know, we have developed an online system on the collection and consolidation of teacher performance data. No? That is something that something that we did so that we would be able to instantly, hindi naman po instantly, more efficiently, no, collect and analyze our teacher performance through our EIPCRF online collection and consolidation system. So that is one innovation that we did, no, at our level, and we can put that in our part 1B of our OPCR. So sana po, no, tayo din ay magkaroon ng mga ganitong innovation or ma-document natin yung ating mga innovations through our OPCR. Sige po, next slide. Now we go to the performance measure. So isa po ito sa pinakamahirap gawin, ano? Mahirap gawin pagdating sa ating OPCRF or even IPCRF. Ang kaibahan po ng ating new format, no, with the old format is that ngayon po meron na talagang specific sections or specific columns or cells for each of the quality indicators. So for quality, talagang gusto natin i-define ano ang ibig sabihin ng 5, ano ang ibig sabihin ng 4, ng 3, ng 2, and 1. At ihiwalay natin siya in terms of quality, efficiency, and timeliness. Sa existing po kasi natin na template, nakalump po siya no, yung ating ETE. So medyo mahirap for the rater, no, to evaluate kung talaga bang karapat-dapat ang rating na 5, ng 4, ng 3, 2, or 1. So in this manner, mas objective ngayon yung ating performance review and evaluation. Again, we still follow within the bounds of our Method Order 2 and the SPMS of the Civil Service. So we're still using the 5-point rating scale, no? The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, no? Rating for our performance. Kahapon po may nagtanong sa amin, pwede po ba kami maglagay ng rating na may decimal points? No? Pwede po bang halimbawa for quality, hindi naman siya naka-reach ng 5, pero hindi rin siya 4. Pwede po ba kami magbigay ng 4.5, no, na rating for each, no? Kaya po nang sabi ko kanina, dapat po dinidefine natin ng malinaw na malinaw yung kada rating, yung kada performance indicator. Kung siya po ay 5, no, dapat nakapalood doon, anong descriptor natin? Anong basihan natin to say that this is 5? Anong basihan natin to say that this is 4? Now, if we have a middle ground, that should also be defined. Maybe at the start pa lang of the performance planning and commitment, we should have been identified. You should have identified already na itong middle ground na to ay dapat bigyan natin ng probably 4. I-adjust natin yung ating performance kung talagang meron tayong middle ground. So again, yung ating rating is a whole number per quality, efficiency, and timeliness indicator. Should be a whole number. Kailan po tayo nagkakaroon ng decimal point? The decimal point is a result na lang po of our averaging, no? Ina-average natin yung rating natin for quality, efficiency, and timeliness. And also, we multiply it, no, with our weight allocation to get our weighted average. Doon lang po tayo nagkakaroon ng decimal point. But the rating, again, for QET should be in whole numbers. And the rating scale, as defined in the form, should be the basis for our rate. Okay. Next slide. Okay. To give you a general guide on how we should craft our quality, efficiency, and timeliness indicator, we have defined here quality. It relates to the effectiveness and getting the right things done. Ano ba talaga yung dapat ginagawa natin ngayon? No? So that is what we call quality, is the output provided or the service delivered of quality? Does it meet the minimum quality standards, no? Or exceed the minimum quality standards? So quality draws focus on the output or the service itself. Ang tinitingnan po natin when we are talking about quality, ang tinitingnan natin is the output, the product or the service being delivered or produced. No? Number two, efficiency. Efficiency relates to doing things right. Paano na, ano yung manner, ano yung proseso, no? So it draws focus on the process by which outputs and services are delivered. And lastly, timeliness. Timeliness refers to doing things on time, no? Based on the timeline agreed upon or the timeline requirements. So to give you more, no, to elaborate on this further, we refer to quality as the, next slide, please. We refer to quality. Next slide. Okay. We refer to quality as the extent to which actual accomplishment or actual performance compares with the targeted performance, no? So kung sa umpisa po ng taon, we did our performance planning and setting the performance targets, no? Dahil meron tayong performance target na malinaw, no? Ano ngayon yung actual performance? Does the actual accomplishment meet, no? The targeted performance, no? So yun po yung titingnan natin pag quality. It also refers to the degree to which objectives are achieved and the extent to which targeted problems are solved, issues are addressed with a certain degree of excellence, no? So when we craft our quality indicators, we may ask the question, is the actual output or is the actual service delivery at par with established quality measures or meet the expected quality of outputs? So kaya po malinaw na dapat dinedefine natin ano bang expectation ni raters. Pag sinabi ko bang dapat ako mag-deliver ng ganitong service, anong service ba yung kailangan talaga? No? Ano yung quality of service na kailangan? Ano? So kumbaga po sa ating kunwari po sa mga outputs natin, no, in terms of reports, no, report cards, school forms, no, accurate ba yung nakalagay ng mga data? Kompleto ba yung mga fields na kailangan? So those are some measures of quality. It also refers to meeting the standards, no, following instructions, no, acceptability or soundness of the output, accuracy, completeness, and comprehensiveness of the reports, and client satisfaction. So those are some aspects, no, that you may look into when you draft or our quality indicator. Next will be the efficiency. So efficiency naman, it's the extent to which time or resources are used for the intended task or purpose. It measures whether targets are accomplished with a minimum amount or quantity of waste, expense, or unnecessary effort. No? So sabi nga natin, it's how you do or the process by which you have delivered the output or service. So you may ask the following questions. How are the outputs or services delivered? Is the manner of achieving the targets follow the minimum service standards? No? Is the research utilization of program objectives realization? Are there better, more efficient to deliver program outputs? So these are things you can ask yourself, when you craft your efficiency indicator. In some elements, sample lang na meron tayo dito, standard response time, number of applications acted upon over number of applications received, optimum use of resources. So those are sample efficiency indicators. Okay. And of course, the timeliness, very self-explanatory. It deals with, or it measures whether the deliverable was done based on the timeline, no, as agreed upon, or based on the requirement. No? Time-related performance indicators evaluate such things as project completion deadlines, time management skills, and other time-sensitive expectations. So, may answer the question, are the objectives achieved within the period agreed upon? Ano? So, pwede itong claim processing time, target date or deadline, product development rate, no? And delivery time. Sige po, next slide. Okay. So, ito pong example namin, no? This is in the context of our office, the central office. But just to give you an idea on how we could craft our performance indicators. We'll give you this example. So, ang aming pong USEC, nandun po ata siya, si USEC Willie Cabral, no? Isa sa kanyang mga KRA is on policy and direction setting. No? And one objective under that KRA is that we recommend, no, his office is mandated to recommend, can we zoom into the objective, recommend to the Office of the Secretary specific policies, reforms, and guidelines pertaining to the overall human resource and organizational development. So yan po yung kanyang objective. So now, given that objective, the challenge is how to craft the quality, efficiency, and timeliness indicator. Can you zoom in to the quality indicator? Okay. So again, ang sabi doon, no, sa quality indicator, it should measure the soundness, no, or it's that it's soundness of the output, or it should answer, it refers to getting things, or sorry, getting the right things done, no? So, given that guidance, ano ba yung mga measure natin of quality? When we say policy recommendation or drafted order, anong ibig sabihin nun? Ano ang masasabi nating dekalidad na policy proposal? So we have identified here some elements of a quality output or a quality policy. Number one, is it consistent with existing laws, policies, and guidelines? No? May mga batas bang pinagbabasehan? Or hinugot lang ba natin ito kung saan? No? Number two, is it aligned with the agency's strategic goals and directions? No? Ito bang polisiya na to ay aligned sa sinasabi ni during press conferences? Aligned ba ito with the matatag agenda? No? Does it contribute to the basic education development plan? So those are some measures of quality. Number three, does it directly address the identified policy issues or gaps? No? Kaya necessary yung consultation. Meron bang mga problema at the field level na gustong sagutin nitong specific policy nito? Getting the right things done. Kasi kung hindi naman problema, ba't tayo mag-i-issue ng policy? Na? So it's getting the right things done. Number four, is it supported by due diligence through a complete staff work? Meron bang policy options provided? Ano yung mga implications? Did you do a scenario analysis? No? What are the other recommendations? What are your recommendations based on the scenario analysis? Okay. Next, is it compliance with the DepEd guidelines on policy development process? Dumaan ba siya sa proper na policy analysis? No? Consultation. Dumaan ba siya sa validation? Dumaan ba siya sa review of stakeholders? No? So these are, it can be a measure of policy. Meron bang, is it complete with the critical policy elements? Meron pa bang implementation plan? Meron pa bang M&E plan? Meron ka bang presentation materials, executive briefer that will support decision making or sound decision making of the secretary? So if these elements are all present, we can give a quality rating, no, under quality of 5. No, and if some of these elements are absent, maybe we can give a rating of 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1. No, so that is a sample on how we can craft our quality indicator. Now, efficiency, sabi doon, is how efficient yung proseso yung tinitingnan natin. So kung for example si Yusek ko ay tinarget niya na for this specific fiscal year, meron siyang 20 policies targeted to be issued at na-issue niya yun within the fiscal year. That means that they have an efficient process. No, that could mean that they have an efficient process. So if all policies are issued, pwede pong bigyan natin ng 5. No? And if hindi naman po, meaning medyo nagkaroon tayo ng problema in terms of the process, no? In terms of efficiency, then we can give a rating of 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1. And of course, the timeliness. Kailan ba ito plano i-issue? Kailan ba natin plano ang completion of all of these targets? So if we meet the timeline, then we can give a 5. So that's self-explanatory. That's the same way that we can craft our quality, efficiency, and timeliness indicator at the school level. So it's a matter of, being creative enough in really defining our measures. Bakit po? Because, pagdating po sa dulo ng taon, para maiwasan po natin yung mga argumento, mga diskusyon between hindi kanais-nais na diskusyon, apela, pagdating sa ating performance rating, mas malinaw na policy na performance indicator, mas objective na performance rating. So yun po ang ating goal in crafting our QET. Okay? In the next slide, meron pa ba? Next slide. Okay, the means of verification. Our schools is very, very familiar with MOVs. No? So ano-ano ba talaga itong mga MOVs na ito? Basically, our MOVs are official documents, reports, or any output that will show the achievement of actual results as certified by authorized official. No, may mga nagtatanong sa amin, is it one and the same as the actual accomplishment? No, not necessarily. So halimbawa po, ang target ay completion rate. 83% completion rate. That is the performance target. And that is, kunwari, the actual accomplishment. Now, what is the document that will show that we have achieved this certain percentage? No? So, ano po ba ito? Is it a report that we submit to the division office? No? Is it the report that is indicated in our EBIS? No? Yun po ba yung ating mga measures of, yun po ba, ano-ano itong mga reports na ito that will show the actual achievement of the result as certified, for example, by the planning officer or the school's division superintendent? Okay? Next slide, please. Okay. So for the part 1C, as mentioned, meron din po meron din po siyang objectives, meron din po siyang weights, timeline, and performance indicator. Pero ang kaibahan po natin for the part 1C, hindi na po kayo mag-iisip, katulad ng part 1A and B. Because in the next slide, we will show this is already prescribed, and we are showing here the element or the subcomponents of the part 1C. As mentioned, part 1C, organizational effectiveness, are the mandatory, objectives that are required, or the mandatory performance outcomes that are required by the oversight agencies the oversight requirements specifically under the performance-based bonus. No? So taon-taon po sinisingil tayo in terms of budget utilization rate. At tama naman, no? Binigyan tayo ng pondo, dapat nagagastos natin siya. Minsan nga kulang pa eh. So feeling ko, achieve naman natin itong financial stewardship and operationally the budget utilization rate. Number 2, streamlining of process improvement. No, so we have the QMS, we also have the Citizens Charter, no, Anti-Red Tape Act, we have the ease of we have all of these things that we as mechanisms for streamlining or continuous improvement. So meron po tayong performance outcome specific for that. And lastly, we have the client satisfaction, no? Refers to the resolution and compliance rate of the to the hotline 8888 or contact center ng bayan within the prescribed processing time in accordance with ARTA, no? Or the ease of doing business standards. So ito pong tatlo na to, nilagyan na po natin sila, no, ng karampatang objective statements and weight allocation and of course even performance indicator. So for example, under budget utilization rate, the quality indicator could be that the budget. Paano natin nasasabi na of quality, no? Walang problema doon sa ating budget utilization rate. So our quality indicator could be that the budget allocation is dispersed within the reglementary period with no overdraft or disallowance from oversight agencies. Pag meron, pwedeng may problema, no? Pwedeng hindi quality yung ating budget utilization. Efficiency, nagastos ba lahat? No? Budget is utilized according to the BUR target based on the official report of the finance section or finance unit. So kung 98% yung target, budget utilization rate at na-achieve natin yung 98%, then that will correspond to a rating of 5. Now, timeliness is a little bit more strict, no? Hindi siya simpleng na-disburse ko siya by the end of the fiscal year, no? Ang gusto natin nakita, na-disburse ba siya or na-utilize ba siya sa panahon na dapat na-utilize siya. Sige po, taas po, no? So, for example po sa ating mga schools, no, meron tayong binibigyan po tayo, no, inire-release sa ating MOE or petty cash ba, no, on a monthly basis, and we have to utilize those within a certain period, no. So sa ating timeliness, we could have, no, we have set, no, the timeliness indicator such that the budget is utilized according to the quarterly disbursement program. No, sa WFP natin meron po tayong ganito, no, meron tayong this monthly disbursement program. So nasusunod po ba 'yon? Kasi hindi naman po pwede na sa dulo ng taon lang tayo gumagastos, no? Kailan ba siya kailangan? Doon ba siya nagastos, no, yung ating mga pondo? Okay, so that's it for the part 1C of our form. So again, kukopyahin nyo na lang po siya. Now, let's go to part 2 of our OPCRF. The part 2 should deal with the competencies, and it comprises 5% of the total performance rating. So again, leadership competencies have 3 subcomponents: leading people, people performance management, and people development, each of which have behavioral indicators na po, no? Ito din naman yung nasa existing nating OPCRF, no? Pero mas nilatag lang po natin siya so that each of these ay pwede natin lagyan ng rating, and at the same time pwede tayo maglagay ng remarks kung meron. no? Hindi naman po kailangan lahat, no? Para lang tayong gumagawa ng report card ng ating mga estudyante na kung meron tayong observation, then we put in remarks. It's optional. But what is mandatory is we rate each of these behavioral indicators and we get the average, no? For each of the subcomponents. Okay, that is the same for our core behavioral competencies. Yung anin po natin na core behavioral competencies, lima pala, limang core behavioral competencies. I-rate natin each of the behavioral indicators and then we can provide, we may or may not provide remarks or observations in each of the behavioral indicator. But what is required is that we rate them individually. Okay. So by the end of phase 1, no? By the end of phase 1, konting reminder lang po that per DepEd order number 2, it's still existing that the rater and the ratee shall reach an agreement. At meron po dapat firmahan. Ano? Ang mga targets po natin ay hindi moving targets, no? So dapat by the end of phase 1, performance planning and commitment, dapat meron na po tayo doon pirmahan between the rater and the ratee, and it should be submitted appropriate performance management team. Now, sino po ba ang performance management team? Sa DepEd order natin, meron na tayong defined the performance management team, no? They should be the safekeeper, no, of our performance planning and plans and commitments. But we are revisiting that performance management team kasi sabi nga po natin, based po yun sa old plan. So we'll be issuing a DepEd memorandum reconstituting the performance management teams from central office down to our schools. But in the meantime, your existing PMTs at the school level will still be enforced, no? Yung composition natin at yung function nila. Okay, so at this point, before we go to phase 2 of our RPMS cycle, we would like to ask the second health break, no, 5-minute health break. So, but in the meantime, habang po tayo ay nasa health break, we would appreciate if you could give us or send us your insights, questions, and realization through the Q&A drop box that is indicated. The link is indicated in your Q&A section. Para po kung may mga tanong kayo, masagot po namin agad. Our team is continuously responding to your questions in the Q&A drop box. So maraming salamat po and see you in 5 minutes.